Right here tonight at 5 o'clock, a new strategy to send certain 911 calls in Louisville for a non-police response is now expanding, allowing officers to focus in on fighting violent crime. It's our top story. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Shay McAllister. Louisville's crisis call diversion program announced it will be extending its hours very soon. Alexis Jones explains the new changes.
In times of trouble, support is just a call away.
Hello, this is Imani with Deflection. How can I help you today?
The Crisis Call Diversion Program, also known as Deflection, typically operates from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. But starting this weekend, those hours are expanding.
Now, the Crisis Call Diversion Program will also operate between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. every day.
Mayor Craig Greenberg proudly announced the change Tuesday. He says the extended hours will now allow Metro Safe dispatchers to transfer 911 calls to social workers overnight. The pilot program launched in 2022 with a focus on LMPD's 4th Division. A year later, it expanded to all LMPD divisions. Just in 2023 alone, crisis triage workers reportedly responded to 1,800 calls, and mobile response team members helped nearly 500 people. Nicole Wiseman with 7 counties has witnessed the program's success firsthand. She says the goal is to provide services 24/7, but they need more help.
Though we have 34 staff on the deflection team, many are actually part-time or PRN. So we're still in need of additional staff to continue our expansions to ensure that folks in crisis receive the best care and support possible.
And if you would like to join the growing team, a link to apply will be on our website, WHAS11.com. In Louisville, Alexis Jones, WHAS11 on your side.
The deflection program gained nearly $3 million in the latest city budget to expand its services.
Leaders say that the Cabinet for Health and Family Services is now working to provide crisis response teams all across the Commonwealth. And this is just into the newsroom here at WHAS 11. Louisville Metro Police have made an arrest in a murder at Dosker Manor. Officers have charged 51-year-old Enos Stovall in the shooting death of Daniel West. Officers were called to the area on Saturday, January 13th, right around 6 o'clock in the evening. West was taken to the hospital where he died of his injuries. Officers arrested Stovall today on South Floyd Street. He's currently being held at Louisville Metro Department of Corrections, and he is facing a murder charge. Louisville Metro Police investigators say it was a 15-year-old girl killed in a shooting on Monday morning in the Algonquin neighborhood. Officers responded to the apartment complex on Patton Court, right across the street from the Park Hill Community Center, around 10:30 in the morning. LMPD says 15-year-old Dovia Purnell died at the scene. Right now, there's no suspects in this case. Police are asking for any help. If anyone has seen anything or heard anything since Monday morning about this, you can report that information anonymously to 574 LMPD.
Now, nearly 2 weeks after the Indiana Supreme Court ruled the defense team for Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen could be reinstated, the Carroll County, Indiana prosecutor is maintaining Allen's attorneys should be found in contempt of court. A court order filed Monday by the prosecutor Nick McLeland listed out 25 reasons why he believes Judge Francis Gull should hold Allen's attorneys in contempt of court. He largely accuses Brad Rossi and Andrew Baldwin of violating a gag order while representing Allen, the most severe of which was in connection to a leak of evidence, including crime scene photos and evidence that the state learned about in October of 2023. Gull tried to remove the defense attorneys last year, but the Supreme Court ruled that they could stay on as Allen's defense team. The motion requested a hearing for Rossi and Baldwin to appear and also show why they should not be held in contempt of court. Our top story here at 5 again. It's been a tragic few days in Nelson County. The community is mourning the loss of 2 young people who died over the weekend within hours of each other.
Now, residents are looking to unite in their grief and start to heal with a vigil planned for Thursday night. Ian Hardwitt and photojournalist Emma Gefter spoke with the organizer ahead of that gathering.
Nelson County tragically lost 2 teenagers on Sunday. The first, a 13-year-old boy who was found dead in his bedroom, whose death investigation is still ongoing, and 16-year-old Lily Smith, who died on Woodlawn Road right near Freeman Avenue.
Smith was in a car crash and sent to the hospital. After her death, her parents were proud to discover she made the decision to become an organ donor. Although the sheriff's department is still uncertain what happened to the young boy, no foul play is suspected.
Unfortunately, Nelson County is not new to tragedy. But the good thing about Nelson County is when something tragic does happen, our community comes together like something that you don't see in many places.
Chief Deputy Brandon Bryan is behind a community vigil supporting the families of people recently lost in the county. It's planned for Thursday evening at 6:45 p.m. at the Nelson County Justice Center by the flagpoles. With a heavy heart, he took on the responsibility after another deputy opened up about the troubling time. It's common, Bryan says, for the Sheriff's Department to share the pain with families who lose the people they love.
Those type of calls stay with you for your career. You don't ever forget them.
911 dispatchers feel the loss too. Sean Gaither knows he took the call when his best friend died in a car accident, but he knew he wasn't alone.
The more that we show our support for one another, the better this community becomes. It's a great community. Nelson County is a beautiful place. It's a wonderful place to live. Those that show up will see that this community is very strong and they can get through just about anything.
And they already are. On Monday, Father Matthew Hardesty held a rosary prayer for the litany of souls lost recently. In addition to the 2 children, 2 parents died in the close-knit county.
But I think you see a level of care and concern following these that is making our community better.
Bryan is hopeful Thursday's event will do just that. In Bardstown, Ian Hardwick, WHAS11, on your side.
Here's the information on the vigil coming up this week that we just told you about. It's going to be held Thursday evening at 6:45 p.m. at the Nelson County Justice Center. Those attending should gather out front near the flagpole. Candles will be provided. Also new tonight at 5, a crematorium in Breckinridge County, Kentucky is under investigation after the Kentucky Attorney General's office discovered they did not have the proper license. According to the Office of Attorney General Russell Coleman, the Cloverport Funeral Home failed to register to operate as a crematory, which is against the law. They say the funeral home performed over 300 illegal cremations since April of 2023. The Kentucky Attorney General's office says they first got the tip in early January, and they've now issued a temporary restraining order against the funeral home. Also new tonight from UPS. Could have implications in Louisville. UPS says it's cutting about 12,000 jobs globally. Managers and contractor positions will make up most of them, but it's unclear where those cuts will be coming.
The news came from a conference call this morning. The company's CEO saying that last year's sales were, quote, disappointing. She said reducing the company's headcount will help save $1 billion. UPS is also returning to a policy of having employees back in the office 5 days a week. Last year, union members at UPS voted to approve a tentative contract agreement, putting a final seal on contentious labor negotiations that threatened to disrupt package deliveries for millions of businesses and households nationwide. Well, we reached out to UPS here in Louisville to ask about the layoffs. Spokesperson Jim Mayer said in part, quote, in 2023, dynamic external and economic conditions led to a lower volume and more than $9 billion decline in revenue year over year. The company will provide support to all affected employees, including severance packages and outplacement assistance.
Meteorologist Colleen Peterson joining us now. Colleen, winter at least came back for one day today. It was really cold out there. And look at this live view as we are taking a look at I-65 Northtown. It almost looks like snow could come out of that sky.
Doug, you're
I'm
wishing.
hoping.
You're hoping.
A wishful thinker when it comes to snow, always.
Exactly.
That's right. It's probably going to happen in April the way it's going.
You know, I'm not going to comment on that because I don't want to
comment.
I think we're actually warming up. I was looking at the long range models. Even the first half of February, we're trending above average. So not looking hopeful for at least this week or next week. But of course, we're still in that winter season. It's possible. Right now, looking at that radar, all that rain is off into eastern Kentucky. Seeing some light snow showers over Ohio for us. We're not seeing anything of that. In fact, temperatures are in the 40s. Looking at the radar right now, we are just seeing a few sprinkles passing through Brandenburg right now, as well as Grayson County. For us in Jefferson County, we're pretty dry, but what we are seeing is some fog forming around town. Now, it's not super dense out there, which is why we don't have an advisory in place. In fact, visibility is still around 3 miles, which is good for the highways, but it is looking very gray up in the sky. 42 degrees right now at the Ollie International, sitting at 42 in Fort Knox, 41 in E-Town out there, and throughout the rest of the evening, we're actually going to be hovering around the 40s. Only a 10% chance of seeing an isolated sprinkle here over the next few hours, and then we're drying out. But the thing that's going to stick around, of course, is those clouds. We've been nonstop cloudy for the past 10 days, and another day of it in store for tomorrow. Temperatures getting into the 50s or close to it by the time we head towards later this week. I'll tell you if the 50-degree weather will come with sunshine or not here coming up. Doug, Shay.
Colleen, thank you. More of our top stories at 5 this afternoon. The former NBA basketball player Rajon Rondo is out on bond after being arrested in northern Indiana. On Sunday, a state trooper pulled over Rondo in Jackson County for speeding at 100 miles an hour and having no license plate. When the trooper approached his car, they say they noticed the smell of marijuana. Police say he then inspected the car and found marijuana, drug paraphernalia, along with a gun. There was also a minor in the car. Rondo is prohibited from possessing a firearm due to an ongoing protection order in place against him in 2022. Rondo was taken to the Jackson County Jail in Brownstown and has since been released. Today, a Kentucky man was sentenced for his actions on the January 6th insurrection at the United States Capitol. 54-year-old Clayton Ray Mullins from Magnolia, Kentucky, that's in LaRue County, was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison and 3 years of supervised release. According to court documents, Mullins grabbed a Metropolitan Police Department officer in Washington by the leg and pulled on it for 20 seconds, ultimately leading to the officer being dragged down the steps of the Capitol. He also pushed a second officer down the steps of the Capitol. In addition to the prison time, he was ordered to pay $2,000 in restitution to the architect of the U.S. Capitol, over $30,000 in restitution to the officer he assaulted for medical expenses, and over $49,000 in fines.